Back home in the studio, and I've got so many chores to do. I've just spent a good hour outside in the sunshine, which is now rapidly going away, and it's going to rain, planning video lessons for Cambridge saxophone, planning some vlog ideas, because I'm kind of having these a bit of a creative gap, but I've hopefully got some new ideas, starting with today's, where I'm going to talk about my frustrated guitar period, my saxophone effects pedals, and kind of why I got into them. I don't really use them much anymore. Well, I'm not using them at the moment. That's just simply down to what I'm playing at the moment. Hopefully will come a point where I have them back on the gigs again for the more appropriate gigs. But what I really need to do now is to crack on, film some video lessons, do some practice, and then I'll come and start talking about the pedals again with you. Just went to start the lesson, and of course then the computer decides it wants to do a total restart of new software updates. Such is life, while using that time to practice. So what I've done with it, if I move my lovely legs out of the way, is I've integrated the radio mic into the effects pedals. Sadly, it looks like it probably needs a bit of tidying up, so if you give me a minute, I'm going to try and get this tidied up. Now, most of this is quite old school. There's nothing here that has been purchased within the last, I'd say, 10 years, to be fair. Maybe the radio mic receiver is a little bit newer, but everything else is quite old. And has survived quite well. The first thing is an acoustic guitar pedal, effects pedal, loads of different delays, reverbs, arpeggiator things on it. Then you've got an octave pedal and a loop station. I have had a wah-wah pedal on there before now, but these are the kind of the best ones I've got, and this has got several different presets. I think, if memory serves me right, there's something like 40 different presets I can put into it. It's been a long while since I did it. You press both, it bypasses. I guess the best thing to do is actually play something. I'm a bit hot and sweaty because the usual thing with leads and things like that happens. The only lead you really need, you can't find. So I've just torn apart my store cupboard trying to find the right lead. Still couldn't find it, so I had to nick it off the monitors for now. Anyway, let's play something. Now there lies in one of the biggest problems, and the reason I don't use my effects pedals that much is because you have to spend so much time faffing around with them. It's a bit like playing EWI. I've spent, zoom in a bit more, I've spent quite a bit of time in the past playing EWI or messing around with pedals, but what I find is my practice time is so limited that I have to be so efficient with my time. I have to make sure that I'm practicing things that are going to meet my goals, and my goals are to be the best musician I can be. And with the best will in the world, faffing around with pedals isn't making me a great musician. It might make some nice sounds and might... There is useful. Let me get this straight. I remember going to a concert during London Jazz Festival. The artist will remain nameless. They play the piano. They have got some amazing piano chops. and I mean this truthfully, they are a fantastic piano player, but they spent a lot of time messing around with gimmicky items like toy pianos or glockenspiels, and I just think, why? You know, I'm not a fan of gimmicks. I want to try and make sure, in music anyway, that first of all, I'm being true to the music and I'm able to interpret that music to the audience, and that the audience hopefully will enjoy that. I find doing a lot, I enjoy this, but it does get a bit gimmicky. It's useful for some things, especially when I did my, what I call Dan Forshaw and the Jazz Police, my kind of electric quartet, and I've got a little bit of video for you here. And of course a lot on the What If Rupert Murdoch Liked Jazz album. Which a number of you asked me about, because I have used some of the music from that for the vlog, and you can find that on iTunes, definitely on iTunes. So that's what I'm getting at. It's great fun, it's good. I probably need to spend a bit more time on it, so I do apologise. It wasn't an amazing kind of loop going on there. There is lots more I could probably get out of it. There's an argument to be said for creating lots of textures, which you can do with effects pedals, but I would always argue that if you are spending time faffing around with effects and not music, it's not being musical, you've not been a musician. Maybe you might disagree with me, but that's my opinion. That's what I'm aiming for at this moment in time anyway. I want to improve my musical technique so that I can say what I want to say through the saxophone, because I've said this before a lot on the vlog. What I'm aiming to happen is that the gear disappears. Do you know what I mean? That the saxophone doesn't exist to a certain extent, that I am able to communicate my ideas that are in here, musically, or within my soul, out of the instrument. I don't want the instrument to get in the way, and I feel by adding things it tends to, well, this is why I made the decision a couple of years ago. I wasn't going to use effects pedals for a while. I was playing with an acoustic trio, but that was the main thing. It was like, I want my ideas to freely flow from wherever they're coming from, out of the instrument into the listener's ear, with as little things in the way as possible. That's not to say I won't go back to them, especially as I've had great fun this afternoon mucking around with them, but I must get on and record that video lesson now. Chord 5. Well, dark sky, you definitely got that one wrong. It's now still bright sunshine. So, just watched the BBC debates. That was 90 minutes of my life I'll never get back again. Could have watched some episodes of House of Cards or a football game or something, but never mind, live and learn. Such are these things. It's the midst of a general election again in the UK, so those of you who are watching abroad, please have some sympathy for us. I am going to finish the vlog there. It never did end up raining like I thought it was going to do. I hope that you found that idea of the guitar pedals useful. Maybe I'll bring them back out more. If you've used kind of effects, or if you even play guitar and you've got some kind of hints. I mean, the thing is now you can put so much of that through an iPad and get amazing results, as I've done on some of the intro music that you've heard on some of the vlogs. And you know, you can get equally good results. And that course on Cambridge Saxophone is all about the Stanley Turrentine version of When the Saints. Well worth a listen. That whole album is amazing. And in fact, it reminds me, I've got a couple of gigs coming up, I hope, soon, actually going through some of those great Blue Note albums. Speaking of gigs, on Sunday I will be at the Haymakers with a fantastic saxophone player called Bobby Jameson. It's a two tenors battle. It's the last time Bobby and I have the chance to go head to head, at least for the foreseeable future, because Bobby's heading back to the United States. Bobby's a fantastic player. I am motivated to practice purely because I know I'm playing up against Bobby on Sunday, and he's a phenomenal player, and I need to try and hold my own. So if you get the chance, I am leaning more towards streaming it on YouTube for you guys live. We'll see what happens. Facebook Live is kind of comfortable for me, but I wonder if I should give it a shot on YouTube. If it is, and you're going to be able to tune in, just drop a comment below. And if I get enough people commenting down there, I may well stick it on YouTube instead of Facebook. Anyway, that seems a really good, appropriate place to say that's the end of today's vlog. I will see you don't forget, if you don't already, please hit that subscribe button. It makes such a huge difference to what I can offer you guys. And remember, the 3,000 subscriber has lots of good things coming their way. Thanks very much for watching. See you very, very, very soon